Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And we have a very short one here, but it does involve everybody's favourite green, Lorna Slater. Limo Lorna, as we're about to find out. It's only, like I say, it's a short piece, and it's going over something we've already done, which was the boat trip from Mallaig to the Isle of Rum. And that's fine, we've covered that cost, where she paid £1,200 for a boat trip that would have cost her about £7.20 had she taken the ferry across. But it's been revealed that she actually took the Ministerial Limo all the way up to Mallaig rather than get on the train that runs from Edinburgh Waverley all the way up to Mallaig and costs £37.60. I've looked up the price. I can get that journey for £37.60. She had a hire car, or not a hire car, a ministerial car plus driver, which would have cost, let's just say, a lot more than £37.60. She does like being ferried about, quite literally, doesn't she? But then anything that involves her not meeting real people, not sitting with us commoners on such a thing as a train, good lord. Anyway, we'll have a quick look at this. It's, as I say, it's only a short piece. I'll be in and out and we'll be done on it. But she is such a hypocrite. Here goes. So, Limo Lorna took the ministerial car to Mallaig for the ill-fated private boat trip to Rum. Like I say, we've covered the cost of the boat, and I actually phoned them up, and I said at the time, when I did my research on that story, that the cheapest I could get it was about 500 and something odd pounds. Turns out she took the slightly better boat and got it for £1,200, an absolute riotously low price when you're not paying for it. £1,200 that the taxpayer, of course, has to pay for, rather than the £7.20 return ticket that she'd have got if she'd have taken the normal ferry that everyone else has to use. But for her, she said it wasn't convenient, was her excuse. Well, it's not convenient for others. They have to make do. They don't hire their £1,200 boat trip and put it down to the taxpayer, do they, Lorna? Anyway, she got there. She could have got... Now, I've done the research. £37.60 was the cost of the train ticket. It runs 7 times a day from Edinburgh to Mallaig. Returns. You know, you can do this. She's someone who keeps pushing us. She wants cars banned. She wants everyone to go green. You know, blah, 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 blah. All this hypocritical nonsense. And she took the ministerial car and rather than the train at a great deal of expense. Anyway, we're getting very quickly more details of Scottish Greens Minister Lorna Slater's ill-fated trip to the Isle of Rum have been revealed as the under-pressure MSP took a ministerial car on a 3-hour trip to Mallaig. This occurred the day before she chartered a private boat to get her to the island. So she drove up the night before. So there was no reason why she couldn't have gone over or anything. You know, she could have been there. That's not an issue. But she had to take the car. She could have taken the train, but took the car. So it isn't as though, oh, the car's more convenient because we've got to get on there or get across. She was up there the day before. She could have taken the train, gone up in the afternoon, been there early evening, booked into a hotel, jobs are good, out in the morning, across you go. No, not good enough for dear sweet Lorna. The Scottish Government Minister for Circular Economy came under fire in May after it was confirmed she'd commissioned the private vessel to get to her meetings on the remote island in the Hebrides. She did this at a cost of £1,200 to the taxpayer, which we've covered. Anyway, now the Daily Express, that's just covering the thing. So now the Daily Express can shed light on the details from a controversial junket, which was organised so that Miss Slater could meet the local community after the botched sale of Kinloch Castle. Nature Scott, the quango which owns it, was in discussions with the millionaire Jeremy Hosking, but he pulled out, citing interference from the Scottish Greens MSP. He was prepared to buy this. She stuck her big Canadian nose right into the middle of the deal, and he said, you know what, I'm not putting up with this kind of hassle. No. And so he walked away, and now Nature Scott is still desperate to offload this property. Can't get rid of it as quick as you can. They could have got rid of it and done and dusted, but no. Lorna Slater needs to go up, not on train, but by car. She, instead of taking the normal ferry with the rest of us, she goes, I'm going to have a private yacht, and goes across on that. Massive expense. Who does she think she is? The bloody Queen? Anyway, the itinerary for the trip on Friday, May the 12th, including the Minister leaving Edinburgh on Thursday at about 1 p.m. or 1:30 in order to be ferried to Mallaig, where she stayed overnight. Then she got an hour-long private boat to the Isle of Rum. Now, she could have Why would you be ferried to Mallaig? Mallaig's on the mainland, isn't it? I'm going to check that out. Unless I'm very, very much mistaken. Mallaig. Map. There you go. On the mainland. Why would you need a ferry to get to Mallaig? That seems very odd. Anyway, I'll come back. The itinerary for the trip, blah, 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 covered that. She left after some meetings and back on the mainland at 3:30 p.m. Now, the fact is, you could get the morning train from Edinburgh, Waverley. Like I say, one of the 7 a day. It runs you straight into Mallaig Station, which, if we look at the map, is there, right next to the ferry terminal. So it's not exactly a hard job to do it, is it? It is ridiculous. But no, she had to use the private car because, you know, she loves cars, apparently. We're not allowed to use them, but it's okay for the elite like her. Anyway, her tendency to use ministerial cars to get around has led Miss Slater being labelled the Green Queen of Hypocrisy by some critics. We've previously told how she ordered an empty limo to be driven from the Central Belt up to Aberdeen to ferry her about the city. And the idea to charter the private ferry was floated by Nature Scots, according to emails seen by the Scottish Daily Express, as they complained that using the public-owned service would mean less time on the island. Ironically, this was mentioned during the minister's meeting with islanders. As the minutes of them read, there are a lot of challenges around ferries and reliability, including communications from CalMac. And so she rubs the salt into the wounds of these people by turning up on a chartered ferry that they ultimately are paying for, chartered yacht, sorry, that they are ultimately paying for through their taxes. She is such a hypocrite. She needs to be slated. Haha, no pun intended. Every time she does anything, she needs to be examined and questioned. Every single thing. She is absolutely awful. Anyway, there she is. That's the expression. So that's probably how she got the job, you know, doing something, making a face like that. If you understand my drift. Anyway, I'm going to finish this, come up, and then we'll round off the video. But unbelievable woman. You know, I'm never going to let her off the hook. I watch her, I look out for news stories with her in every day. She is such good value for money, isn't she? I'm really kind of glad that she won her vote of confidence, because the longer she stays in government, the better for everyone. Because everything she does ultimately fails, so she's not really doing much harm anymore. Everyone knows what she is and how useless she is. And while she's there and destroying all credibility of the Greens and the SNP, it means it's even less likely to have an SNP government next time. And hopefully this will be the last time ever the Greens are ever allowed to wield any kind of power in Scotland. Thanks, Lorna. I really do mean it. You are a godsend. You are fantastic. And I love you. Right, I'm finishing now. Thank you very much for listening. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, do please hit that subscribe button right now. Ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and God bless Lorna Slater and all who've sailed in her. And I bet there's quite a few. Bye.